Welcome back to Hiking with Kathleen. In today's video, oh my goodness, we're all out starting into spring. We're just starting into the second week of March, and so in this video we've seen Tundra Swans, eastern bluebirds, but it's going crazy with signs of spring, and all kinds of animals are setting up their territories or they're moving on to their northern breeding grounds, and that's the case for the Tundra Swans. Anyway, stay with me and you'll see all kinds of really cool things that you'll only see at the start of spring. Okay, so it's incredibly exciting out here this morning. So the temperature when I started off was about -1 degree, and I think the high is going to go up to 9 degrees Celsius. So we're somewhere below that right now, I'll tell you. Spring has sprung, okay? Just heard a flock of Tundra Swans flying overhead. I'm sure that I'll be able to get some swan footage for you at some point. And I just saw a woodcock at 9 in the morning. So there is a semi-open area, and I saw it as it was fluttering from the top part of a shrub, and it flew to the trail ahead of me, but where it was still kind of concealed. So instead, I looked with my binoculars, identified it as a woodcock, and then lost sight of it because then it flew away. My usual tactic is I just pull out the camera and just start filming and then figure I'll ID it later. So that was incredibly exciting. I don't know how woodcocks will be able to probe the snow for food, because they tend to probe wet, like muck, in pursuit of things like earthworms. And the ground here is pretty frozen still. There's some soft spots, but anyway. So that was really cool. I saw a pair of brown-headed cowbirds. They were quite far off in the distance at the top of a tree, and he was showing his stuff to her. He was fluffing up his feathers and showing how pretty he is. And then they took off by the time I was ready to start trying to film them. But anyway, so you've had a chance to see some white-tailed deer that I spotted when I was going from a transition area from a forest into an open area. And now I'm heading back into a forest. Oh. This is the most exciting time of year. And the leaves, with them missing on the tree branches, is making it extra easy to be able to spot things before they actually disappear for good from my prying eyes. So, okay, well, we'll continue on this hike this morning. So that was exciting. As soon as I stopped speaking, started hiking again, then I could hear that flock overhead as they were coming in. So, oh my gosh. So you had a chance now to see Tundra Swans in flight. The other thing I've been hearing around here is killdeer. I haven't had a chance to see a killdeer yet, but they're also an early arrival. So it's very exciting, and I hope you're excited too, because this is where we are transitioning from a very beautiful winter with lots of snow this year now to springtime, where things are coming back to life in terms of plant growth. Young will soon be born, if not already. Perhaps great horned owl young are already hatched. Eagles are nesting, and so their young have or will soon be hatching. Coyote pups, they'll soon be born. Probably not for another month or so, because this is still very early in March. Deer, their young are born in the month of May. So we have all this excitement happening. It's like each season, each part of the season has a beginning, a middle, and an end before we transition into summertime. So anyway, just a really nice clear day, and I'm gonna keep looking for stuff. Okay, so with the melting snow, what happens is it reveals whatever has taken place over the course of the winter months. And I don't know how old this is. This is a deer kill site, and all we have left, we have no bones or anything, but all we have left here is we've got a lot of deer fur. And because the snow has now receded in many places, it gives evidence to the goings-on here in the wintertime. So it would have been perhaps by coyotes. They're the only natural predator in the area, so that's what may have happened here. My hope is that you can hear this. There are swans in the sky. And there are 1, 2. There's a little cluster, okay. There's about 4 white-tailed deer that had been disturbed by my putting the camera here. So then they moved, and that's how I saw them. They were probably lying down. Okay, well, I don't want to stress them out. Oh my gosh, there's signs all over the place. But I found a nice quiet spot in the forest that isn't heavily traveled. I am wearing my ice cleats because there are some parts of the trail that are heavily packed from the use in the winter. But a lot of it in the forest anyway has opened up. As I mentioned in other videos, if you feel like you're being watched, chances are excellent that you are. There's wildlife all around, and we walk like elephants. When I'm walking with my ice cleats on this ice-packed trail, I'm announcing my presence to everything because it's very loud crunching. Once this melts away, then I'll be able to travel more quietly again through the brush and hopefully get even more sightings. Wow. What a fabulous morning out here. So this is a continuation of the same day. I finished up my hike, I guess about an hour and a half ago. And when I got home, Shannon arrived home from doing whatever she likes to do in the morning. And we normally have a tea as we are catching up in the afternoon. So this time, because it's such a beautiful day, right now the truck temperature for the outside temperature says 12 degrees Celsius. So we're on our way to do something together. So we're going for a little road trip, and we're going to head to Aylmer, Ontario, where at the Aylmer Wildlife Management Area, we will have a chance to see some Tundra Swans up close. Now, I had a chance to film some Tundra Swans that were in flight when I was on my hike earlier today. This time we're going to have a chance to see them up close. So that'll be pretty exciting. It's a neat place to go, and this is a very contracted season where they are migrating through on their way to the tundra, and they don't waste a whole lot of time because getting the best breeding site is key for them. So anyway, they'll probably be here for maybe a couple of weeks, not the same individuals. It'll be a continuous flow of Tundra Swans, and then they'll be gone. So that is where we're headed, and we're taking you along. So this building is really cool because on the outside, it's sort of nondescript because it's close to the birds, so people don't know that it's here. And on the door, it has an accessible symbol, so it looks like it's probably an accessible washroom in here. So not everybody comes here and tries the door, which is good because it makes it nice and quiet. There have been a few people that I've been chatting with that have come in here, but you are right up to where the bird feeders are. So out in the area around that frozen pond is corn, and that's spread so that it attracts the swans when they're on their way, from the south up to the north to the tundra. There's other waterfowl that are drawn in here, but also I've had a chance to film my first sightings. I've heard them already, but common grackles and red-winged blackbirds. So they're out here feeding on the corn, and of course they normally would be insectivores, but I mean, that's what's available right now. There isn't any available insect life, other than I see there are wasps around one of the feeders. But this is cool. Birds can hear you, so you have to be quiet when you're in here because it's just a pane of glass. So I imagine when this gets busy and you get a lot of people in here and there's banging and stuff, then it would scare all the birds away that are at the feeder. But this is a great viewing area because you're right up against the window, and on the other side is where the birds have food and they're encouraged to come in to eat. So, and they don't even notice that we're in here. So yeah, it's disappointing The water is not thawed out, but I guess why would I think it would be thawed out at this point when it's not thawed out, along the trails that I've been, normally walking along. But anyway, that will attract more swans later in the week when that water thaws out. I mean, today it's 12 degrees this afternoon, 12 degrees Celsius. So it's probably going to take another maybe couple of days, and then that water will open up and the birds will enjoy being in there so that they can swim around. Right now, we passed a whole pile of tundra swans out on a farmer's field that's very close to here. And it's because there is water sitting in the field, and it's available water, it's open water. And they come here probably to feed, and maybe they hang out there where they'll hang out during the day. And they otherwise like to spend their time at the lake where they feel safe. Lake Erie is not far from here. Okay, so we'll go and we'll have a look and see what Shannon's been doing, because she's been just staying in the truck. And this is where I've had a chance to get out there and film the waterfowl and the perching birds that are here. So for me, that's been a thrill. Okay, let's have a look. She gets shy when it comes to drinking tea. All right, so I guess here's our last look from out here. And then she and I are going to hit the trail again. We'll be heading home. So it was really worth taking that little drive out to Aylmer. I mean, I was pretty excited to be able to see that male and female pintail, and also got to see a pair of ringneck ducks. I don't know how well they showed up. My hope is they showed up well. And I know there weren't a lot of swans, but that's because there wasn't water for them to swim in. But we saw a whole whack of swans as we left. It was just outside of the Aylmer Police College that there were a lot of tundra swans gathered in a farmer's field because there was sitting water on the field. But I was thrilled also. I was able to film some of those birds that were at the feeder, like the Grackles, the red-winged Blackbirds. Yeah, so anyway, that was a pretty exciting end to today. So that pretty much is a wrap, and I'm really glad that you came along.